Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my second Q&A type of video leading up to the Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 14, which is called Spend. Okay, so we're going to be talking about a couple different key topics in this one, answering your guys' questions. Spoiler warning if you're not caught up, by the way. And just to let everybody know, if you guys surf The Walking Dead on the web, if you watch on YouTube, whatever, there have been a couple things spoiled for Episode 14 Spend. So I won't spoil them for you in this video because I don't like to do that. For me, you guys know I've explained this before, I can't avoid spoilers with regards to The Walking Dead. If something gets leaked, someone's going to tell me. I'm going to see it just in my regular reviewing comments and looking for questions for Q&As and things like that. So I know what's going down. I know what's going to happen, at least with regards to a couple character deaths. There's at least two that have been spoiled or rumored to be spoiled. Now, it's possible this spoiler information is incorrect. So if you want to know, you can go ahead and look this up on Google, and I'm sure you'll find lots of sources that are talking about a double death that's going to occur in Episode 14 Spend. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm not going to say names or anything like that, but just that there's going to be at least two deaths. Not both from the survivors, but there's going to be at least two deaths in the upcoming episode if the spoiler information is correct, which it probably is, to be honest with you. So it's a bit of a shame that information's been leaked and it's been ruined for me, because I've talked about this before too. I like to do predictions on what I think is going to happen. If I'm right, excellent. If I'm wrong, okay, fine. You know, that comes with the territory because you don't know 100% what's going to happen, right? And it's actually good because sometimes it leads you to think that things are unpredictable, which you want them to be. You don't always want to know exactly what's going to happen just because it's obvious, right? But I don't necessarily like to have things just ruined for me. Actually, Shane's death in season 2 was actually posted on the Blu-ray release on I believe in a description for Amazon or something like that. AMC, somebody goofed big time, and before Shane was killed off in season 2, a couple episodes prior, because I was doing videos at this time and basically doing the same thing I'm doing now all the way back in season 1 and 2, if you guys didn't know that, they had actually posted that Shane's last episode was going to be Better Angels in the description featuring Shane's last episode, and everybody knew that he was going to be killed off at that time, so it really took a lot away from it. In this case, I'm not going to do that to you guys, but if you want to know who it is, feel free to search it of your own accord. And also, I want to warn you, I can't clear out all the comments fast enough. If you're worried, you can watch these videos. I won't ruin anything for you, but don't scroll down, because if you scroll down and you start looking through comments, somebody's going to ruin it for you if the spoiler is accurate. So that's all I'm going to say about that. It's out there. It's there now. So that is what it is. There is going to be there's definitely we're pretty sure the spoiler's legit. So there's going to be a couple deaths coming up. So that's cool to hear. But if you don't want to know who it's going to be, then don't search. Cool. So I was going to do this one, which is a theory of what could happen with regards to the finale, because we know there's going to be at least a death or probably a few in the finale. And we talked about the possibility of Daryl being killed off the other day. I wanted to do one on the possibility of Carol, because she has had a lot of time in season 5. But I'm going to save that for another Q&A. We'll just do this one as kind of the spoilers that have been leaked, and then we'll do the rest of the questions here. So I'll do that probably tomorrow, give my theory or thoughts on the Carol finale death theory. So let's get into your guys' questions. The first one is from CigarNicka89. He asked some awesome questions, so thank you, CigarNicka, for your continued support of asking good questions in the channel that I can use to actually answer in the videos. So his question is, who are the strongest survivors from the Alexandria Core group? So I think this is a great question. You guys can weigh in on this one in the comments below. So who are the strongest survivors in the Alexandria group right now, that is? Okay, so definitely I would think Deanna, Reg, those two. Even though Deanna is the leader of the community, I don't think she's a strong survivor. She basically uses her political knowledge and she is in power. She is in that position, but it also protects her from having to deal with zombies. Do you think that Deanna could kill one zombie one-on-one? If she was one-on-one with a zombie and she was either unarmed or she had like a knife or something, or even a sidearm, even a gun or something, do you think she'd be able to kill even one zombie? I don't think so. I don't think she would. I think she would end up being bitten and die at some point as a result of that encounter, unless she runs away. So in terms of the strong ones, definitely not her, even though she is a leader. Because she's a leader, it adds to her strength because then she doesn't have to deal with threats. But she's not a strong survivor. We got to see some other survivors from the group. I'd say the ones that have been leaving are probably stronger. We got to see Nicholas and Aidan. There was Spencer as well. I get the sense Spencer's not a very strong survivor. I get the sense Aidan and Nicholas are not very smart. They may be some of the strongest of the group because they've actually been getting away from the group. They've been leaving, which helps. I don't think Peter is a very strong survivor, to tell you the truth, the doctor. He's valuable, though, so he's a good survivor because if a group finds him, they're going to want to keep their doctor safe, and he probably is tough enough to defend himself. He's taken, it seems, if you guys have seen the sneak peek 2, which I'll put the link in the description for you guys, there's a scene for Spend where he actually goes to talk to Rick, and he's drunk, he's drinking beers, and he kind of hints at that he kind of has an idea that something is starting or something is possibly going on between Rick and his wife. So that's a cool one. Definitely check out the sneak peek if you guys haven't seen it yet. But I don't think Pete is that strong, but he's valuable. So, kind of similar to Deanna. But I'd say Pete is more valuable because any group that comes across him would want to keep him because he's a doctor, so he can help them out if something goes wrong, if they're smart anyway. So he's fairly strong because he's valuable, but not the strongest in terms of actually being able to kill zombies or anything, or other survivors. So for the strongest, we're probably looking at, to be honest, Aidan Nicholas. That Tobin guy looks like, we don't know much about him, but he looks like he can probably shoot very well. So he'd probably be pretty tough, and he seems to be leaving, that kind of thing, and probably would be able to deal with other survivors fairly well because he's used to leaving a lot. And that's basically all the characters we know of from Alexandria right now. There's really not that many, it seems to me, that are tougher survivors. Aaron is probably one of the toughest. Eric, no. He's like a hiding type, I would say, from what we've seen so far. But I do think Aaron could. I think Aaron could probably shoot pretty well. He seems to be quick to me. Like he's able to run really well because he's probably been doing it a lot with scouting and everything. So I think he'd be one of their tougher ones. But anybody else there, like we haven't really met anybody else so far. I can't really think of anybody that would be that tough aside from them. So Alexandria, like Rick said, they must be the luckiest people because they're a very weak group all around. They're extremely weak when you think of who they have. Even though they have a lot of numbers, they even have gun control, and some people talked about this in the comments, how they keep all the guns in one central spot and don't let people take them. If they get attacked out of nowhere and they're not able to get to that spot before, and that a group that's attacking can knock down the gates and get in there and seize control of that spot, or make it so that they can't get there and they're stuck in their houses or something, they're going to be useless. How are they going to be able? They're just going to get slaughtered. So, those are the toughest. Aaron, the ones that have been leaving, like Tobin and Nicholas and Aidan. But again, even though that's the case, they're not very strong. They're the strongest of them, but they're not very strong, I wouldn't say. Next one is from Tim Strothmeyer, and he says, Walking Dead Q&A, hey Trev, I thought that the A stamp that Sam gave Rick was very reminiscent of the Terminus A train card. What do you think about it? I was waiting for Rick to start having flashbacks of Gareth or the church slaughter and end up having to leave the party because he was freaking out. That would have been cool to see. And other people as well have also brought this up, that A is for adultery. I don't know. Because, she shows him the A and he shows it back, and that. I don't know what the fascination is with the letter A and why they keep showing it. It's kind of some kind of a symbol of something. I'm hoping eventually Gimple or somebody will tell us in Talking Dead or in an interview, what is the significance of using the letter A? Why do they keep doing it? What is it? Somebody said that the Scarlet Letter uses an A, so this is some kind of tie-in to the Scarlet Letter, or what's the word I'm looking for here? It's kind of like a reference to the Scarlet Letter. I haven't read it, so I don't know if that's true, and also with the Scarlet Letter that it also has to deal with adultery, extramarital relations, this kind of thing. So that could be. I'm hoping we're going to see more of it because they've really been doing that a lot. They've been showing the A all over the place. Could there be a tie-in from the A the stamp and then the A on the train carts and that from Terminus? No, of course not. Right. But even you got the W for the wool. I don't know. I mean, they're using a lot of symbolism, a lot of different things, and I think that Scott Gimple is probably, because he's the showrunner now. I do think that he does a lot of things that are very intricate. He has a lot of little intricate things that he does and that they've been doing the last couple of seasons, things leading into other things, adding to the replay value, a lot of little details that you think they wouldn't really put into it that they are, and they're just doing an amazing job all around, I think, of the show right now, and they have been for a long time. So, that's why it's one of the biggest shows on TV, or some people say it's the biggest on cable, which maybe in terms of like drama, that kind of thing, it could be. I don't know how you compare metrics and things, because NFL and football is always big, right, too. So, or other sporting events as well, too. But yeah, with the A, I can't really help you guys out too much with regards to understanding that. I don't understand it myself entirely, and I'm hoping eventually they'll kind of fill us in. But I did think that was kind of funny, and I wanted to comment on those kind of ideas for it, what it could mean. That's funny. I don't know, adultery. Anyway, DC Jake says, hey, Trev, Walking Dead characters tend to keep their promises. Chances are Sam will probably tell Jesse about what happened. Do you think Carol would actually tie him up to a tree far away? At this point, I would say, yeah, I think she actually might. And it's kind of a stretch, yes. But, and she was trying to manipulate him, she was trying to control him. But I do see Carol as having the potential to do something like that. Do I think she would go to the trouble of actually doing it? Or if she would just, tell him to look at the cookies or something? I don't think she would go to all that trouble to torture him like that. No, I don't think so. I think she was just trying to scare him. But I don't think it's something that's too cruel for her to do in the right circumstance. If it was somebody who killed somebody that she loved or something, I could see her doing something like that. I think it's within character. Let's say if she, if she starts taking care of another girl or something, and because she's been doing that, right? Having like a surrogate replacement for Sophia. If she took care of another girl in city, in Alexandria, and somebody killed her or something, I could see Carol definitely doing some kind of torture thing like that. But I don't think she'll actually do it to Sam, no. But we'll talk a little bit more about the possibilities of Sam telling Jesse, his mom, about what Carol did and what could happen in the finale if Peter finds out and that kind of stuff. We'll talk about that coming up, probably tomorrow. So this is... Okay, so let's do this one here. Mike D. So he says, do you think that Daryl will be the one to find Morgan? Because Daryl is, of course, becoming a scout in the community now. For Alexandria. So I don't think so. I think what's going to happen is Morgan's going to hear some kind of gunshots or ruckus going on, and he's going to intervene. That's what I think we're going to see. But that said, I do think that would be cool if Daryl did, because he was the one that found Bob, if you guys remember. So it's kind of like he's already been doing that when they had the prison, asking the questions and everything, and deciding whether or not people would come and join. So for Morgan, it would be cool if he did. That'd be an interesting kind of face-off or confrontation between the two, and how Morgan would react to that. But I tend to think more that Morgan's going to kind of show up and Rick's going to be the first one to see him. Don't you think that makes sense, that Rick would be kind of the first one to see him? I think so. Next one's from Connor Cullen, and he says, just wanted to continue on your Rick development on whether he is turning into Shane when we eventually see the scene in which Rick intervenes with Jesse's husband. So if fist comes to cuffs between Rick and Peter, right? If, let's say they do similar to the comic book series, and Peter's like a drunk or something, and he's like hitting her, and then Rick finds out. Do you think we will see a scene reminiscent to Tell It to the Frogs from season 1, where Shane beats the crap out of Ed after hitting Carol? Would be very cool to see some comparisons to that scene. So, that's kind of where I think they're going with it, is that I think that's a Gimple thing. I think he is taking so much care with the series that he decided that, hey, you know what? This situation with Jesse and Peter and Rick is very reminiscent of what happened between Rick, Shane, and Lori. But in that case, Rick was on the other side. what if we do something like we kind of make it a little bit obvious, not 100% obvious, but we put enough little hints in there to kind of show the viewer that Rick has kind of changed so much to such an extent that he is actually in Shane's position now. Man, that would be so cool if they did that, and they continued to make it seem. To me, because I go back and I watch those episodes with throwback reviews and stuff, because I just love them so much, right, with Shane and that. I just think it's such great little touches they're putting in that we get to kind of see scenes that remind us of things like that. And I do think we're going to see something like Connor suggests here. Now, do I think they're going to get John Bernthal to come back and kind of taunt Rick or something? That would be just... That would be that would be like my favorite episode ever. If they had him come back as a ghost and taunt Rick or something in the finale or something to kill Pete, I just think that would just be man, that would be so awesome. If they could do that. So, but John Berthel's busy. He's got other projects he's working on. I don't know if he'd be willing to do it. But they did do it with the governor. They did do it in episode 9. So I think that it's a possibility. And he did come back once in season 3. They may not want to bring up the past that much. But it just feels to me, especially when Rick clears the thing when he's shaving and that, he clears the fog or the mirror. He clears the mirror just the same way as Shane did season 2 when he's shaving his head and all that. Looks at himself and everything. Man. Really nice touches, really cool. So I'll cut it a little short for today because I'm trying to make the Q&As more condensed, trying to have them not go on for too long. Tomorrow we will talk about the Carol theory for the finale and what's going to happen with Peter and Jesse and all that and Rick. So awesome stuff, really exciting. And if you guys have any other questions, I've got a couple more days. You can send them to me before the episode airs. Any video suggestions, go ahead and send them to me, and I will try to include them. I'll call it here for this one for today. If you guys liked it, you want to go ahead and thumb up the video, I do appreciate it. If you want to share it, if you have a Facebook, you want to click the share tool below, I always appreciate that too. And, if you're new, you want to subscribe, bottom left, go ahead and click subscribe. I'll call it here. So for this one, guys, see you tomorrow. As always, it's Trev, saying peace.